Suspend your vehicle with a car jack or lift. This will relieve the compression on your coil spring. Safety tip: please use jack stands to secure the vehicle. Do not use your jack. Place your tire below the car as a secondary safety net. Clean up the coil springs thoroughly to make sure there is no dirt or debris. Measure the spring gap, item D, between two coils to get the inner height, item H2, dimension. Use the chart above to determine the correct size buffer to install. Once you identify the correct model for your vehicle, you can proceed with the installation. First, double check and make sure the inner height, item H2, is smaller than the previously measured spring gap, item D. Next, spray WD-40 on both top and bottom inner grooves of the RubberShox buffer. Then, apply some lubricant onto the coil spring to reduce friction and make the installation easier. Start by pushing the top groove into the spring and slide the rest of the buffer until you secure the bottom groove to the bottom coil. If the inner height, item H2, on the buffer selected is very close in size to the spring gap, item D, it will be very difficult to install onto the coil spring. In this case, proceed to trim the inner edge about 1/4 of an inch. This will provide enough room to insert and secure the buffer. Note that you are able to trim the buffer's inner edge, either top or bottom, or both, depending on the installation difficulty. Reapply WD-40 on the inner grooves of the buffer and the coil spring. Carefully begin to insert the buffer onto the coil spring gap and install. To enhance support and increase ground clearance, a rubber booster block can be installed between the opening of the buffer. The combination of the booster block and buffer will provide ultimate performance for your suspension system. To complete the installation, you will need to secure the buffer in place by using the provided zip ties. If your buffer does not have any pilot hole, you may drill two 1/2 inch holes in the center line, 2 inches away from the opening, to provide access for the zip tie. After completing the installation, remove your jack stands and safely bring down your car. You should allow some time for your shock to fully settle. Once done, you are set to experience a smoother ride, better cornering control, and higher ground clearance.